Hey-oh!
Welcome to another episode of Nitro Ride.
Hello.
Oh, that sound of that can busting open.
We got ourselves a special guest.
Oh, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I am Red.
Oh,
God.
oh, oh God! Red has taken a hiatus from the great state of California
Yeah.
to the also great state of Arizona.
Just not that great.
Yeah, I wouldn't say great.
Immensely inferior state of Arizona. Way fucking hotter there. That's
Way
for damn
fucking
sure.
hotter, Jesus.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, Red? Why are you here? Why aren't you back in Arizona? What's going on with your life?
Well, I miss my
check it.
buddies. I had some money to pick up here in California.
Oh yes.
Which is very low on the list of why I'm here.
Sure.
But yeah, I came here about 2 weeks early, before I'm traveling out of the country to St. Lucia.
Woo.
And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'm off work for a little bit. I'm gonna go up there, spend a few weeks up there, hang out with buddies, do some side work, and yeah, build a podcast.
Okay, and do a podcast. Top of the list.
Yeah.
Top of the list.
I am Coyote, as always.
And I am the Cosmos.
And today we're talking about
Like just being a man.
being a man.
Being a man. Whatever that entails.
Yeah.
That weird skew, and we've talked about that kind of a little bit before.
Yeah.
But more about growing up a boy, and this is more like stigmas on men, or like the mold that we have to fit.
Definitely, and it could be like the Reaper. I mean, like we could still afford to trace it back to like growing up as a little dude, as a boy, and like maybe some influences that we experienced when we were young, and how that like shaped who we are now, and how those influences might change if we were, of a different gender.
Well, very good.
And this is also, of course, fucking our experience. Oh, damn! Rest in peace.
Gotcha.
Fuck 12.
Highway's gonna get you.
Fuck 12.
Police officer with a mask on. Thanks, officer.
Oh, hey.
Saving our lives.
In the car.
Yes.
Oh, fuck, what is that? That's of course, our experience, and we are kind of like in our own little microcosm. Like, Mendocino County has its own, like, stigmas for sure, but I feel like it's a very progressive and, like, welcoming place. And, no
one's going to peg you for being too manly or not manly enough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not to say no one. I mean, I know some families in this area that are very, like, macho. I would say macho is a great word for that.
Proto-masculine.
Yeah. And not to say that isn't a good thing or a bad thing. I think you need all types of people to make sense of the world, and examples of how to, whenever I have a kid, what I'm going to raise my kid, and the things I'll instill if it is a boy to like become a man.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that the stigma I think first and foremost for me, the thing that air quotes being a man needs or like is required is to stifle your emotional self. And I'm not down with that. I feel like we see a lot of lashback in guys all over the place that like are emotional, but they don't want to be a pussy. And I was raised by all my sisters. Oh man, I have no masculine examples, and I'm pissed, and it makes me feel inferior. I don't know how to use this male energy, and so I'm gonna take it out on everybody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna act out. I'm gonna fucking bully people. I'm gonna, whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
bad shit that can come out of that.
Just watching garbage reality TV sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Like the Housewives or whatever with my girlfriend, and a guilty pleasure. I like it because I'm analyzing everybody.
Yeah.
There was she found one that's the Persian families in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And just to see like the macho come through in them, and how most of the guys treat women or whatever.
Yeah.
And not to say that like all Persians treat women bad, but just to see that like the pushiness of some dudes, and I go, yeah, that's definitely something you got to educate guys on, because guys are fucking scary.
Yeah, guys. I mean, even the fucking like a dude that hasn't, doesn't go to the gym 24/7. Even the dudes that don't fit the stereotypical like intimidating man archetype, can be very scary. Like a lot of what brings people to commit horrifying acts isn't their physical prowess. It's instead like mental instability.
Yeah.
You look at serial killers and not a lot of them were fucking jacked, Yeah. And so it's not about like sculpting some kind of image that people are scared of. It's instead just like the stigma that can be associated with being a guy, because some guys are fucking scary.
Oh well, everyone knows that guy that looks unassuming, but really he's a master manipulator.
Oh god. Yeah.
And he can be fucking evil.
Yeah.
And everyone knows the dude that's a fucking swole gym rat. That not gym rats. I don't know if that's a derogatory term.
Whatever.
But is super strong and just doesn't understand how strong he is.
Yeah.
And will go to maybe grab somebody and hurt them. Like Hulk smashing people.
Yeah, or like be playing like a sport, like even volleyball, like a relatively non-contact sport, and just like fucking slamming people. But what I find is like now it's flipped. But I think not to the degree that people think it has, and this is of course my own experience. But like dudes are embraced to be a little more creative and artistic than previously, and they're encouraged to talk about their feelings. But that's like so long as they quote unquote have their shit figured out for a dude, which is like having a stable income and being successful. Like I still know people that are criticized by their parents for being like a total fuck up and a loser, because they don't have their like career already figured out by the time that they're 23.
Totally.
But they're super artistic and they create these like, beautiful little pieces.
They're impressive in there. They're not unimpressive.
Exactly.
They're just not fitting the standard.
Yeah, and so even if their aspirations are to be like, a talented professional artist, they don't get to really live that out because there's a bunch of, pressure from their parents or from whoever to be successful in the more traditional respect. And I don't think that's even necessarily something that just applies to men, but I have seen it come up with men. And I think that turns into repression of creativity and expression. And that's just one influencer to that fucking...
Or on the stack.
Yeah, that's just like one thing that can lead you to squanching down being expressive and artistic.
Totally.
Celebrating your more creative side.
Or being chastised for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that just until recently, because we talked a lot about the growth that I'm going through, right? Just until recently, I still like hated like how a movie would make me want to cry.
Oh.
Like, and that's so bizarre. Like, the stigmas that have been imposed on me are making me not want to appreciate this movie in the respect that it was designed to be appreciated.
Or just to feel what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, just hiding it whatever kind of way that I could, and it wasn't even conscious. It was just like, Or I would do the opposite and like be like, oh, I'm so fucking sad, and make a joke out of it, And,
right? Yeah, over project.
Exactly.
To not take yourself seriously.
Yeah, Easy described this really well at some point recently. He said like look vulnerable or quote unquote like unintelligent, but in a way that you can control. Like it's so bad. Like
don't go full retard.
Kind of.
Don't go full emotional.
It's like when I walk into a room, be like, hey, I'm the stupidest guy in the room. That's not being vulnerable. What that is instead is making sure that I get to the punch before anybody else can. Exactly. And that I'm in control of the punch.
You set the floor.
Yeah, exactly. And people can do that with, being expressive. Like, I think we all know people that are like, but I'm a fucking crazy person, or, but I'm such a crybaby all the time, so.
So you set the groundwork and people know what to expect from you, and you don't feel like you're out of control.
It is that, but I think that mostly, whether it's conscious or not, is I'm going to say this before anybody else can. That way I'm in control.
Yeah.
Or like I'm not going to be hurt.
Because you got it out of the way. The
thing
that you're insecure about.
I got it out of the way in a way that I can control and anticipate, and thusly my feelings aren't going to be hurt. Which I don't even know if that's good. I would maybe argue that it's not, because it's still a defense mechanism, you know.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for giving people a, you know, you set your boundaries in a way that is just for you and not for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It gets out of the way without you being like, hey, everybody, I need everyone's attention. I have a really hard time in social settings, and I'm gonna have a hard time. So, or hey, I can get kind of loud. You don't need to be like apologetic. You're like,
yeah, that's.
it depends on where you are. That's a set and setting thing. Like, yeah, if you're with your homies and you're like, hey man, can you guys all come over here real quick? I gotta talk to you guys about something. Like, you're feeling something. That's totally fine.
Right. Of course.
If you're at a party where you're with 2 people you know and you're with 50 strangers, you're not gonna fucking. I need to make a toast to my bad emotions.
Yeah. Can we all talk about me for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. Well, Matt, what? Oh, fuck.
Ha!
Red. We can edit over that if you want. Red, how do you feel about, like, being a man, the topic of being a man? Because you had, I think I would go as far as to say, a kind of different upbringing than we did. Like,
not knowing you guys' full past and everything, just from what I've heard, it was different, but like nothing super crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's weird because on how I'm talking about it. It's weird I'm talking about it because so many different people have the same different ideas of what being a man is. Like we just discussed, and I don't know. The way I was brought up on being a man was, by my age, I should have a house, I should have a wife. What is going on here?
This guy. That's a man.
Man, that's a man.
Hell yeah.
Let's bring him on.
Yes.
I bet he'd have some fucking good points to say.
I should have a house by now. I should be married. I should have at least one kid on the way, if not already.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was following that for like my whole life, up until about like a year ago. And I'm 23 now.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it sucks that I'm just now realizing it, but it's better than realizing it. It's better realizing it now versus 20 years from now.
Yep.
For sure.
Once I have that stuff, and I'm like, wow, I really missed out on a lot because I just got committed to this whole thing.
Right.
Because I was told I was supposed to be this guy.
Yeah. And why am I not happy?
Right.
And I don't know.
What's funny is I think that's always going to be there a little bit. Like,
oh, for sure.
Regardless of what avenue we take. What I mean is the like, oh, I wish I fucking did this, or I wish I hadn't done this. Because, like me, for example, I could see myself finally having a house and, maybe a partner and some like stability at around 45 or something like that, and be like, fuck, I could have enjoyed this so much sooner if I just really, stuck my nose to the ground and did the shit that I was supposed to do. I think that's, like, as much as we all want to have no regrets by the end of our lives, and we take all these steps to ensure that that's the case.
It always will.
I think that there's always gonna, like, the fucking grass is always gonna be greener on the other side.
There's always that shadow zone where you go in your mind, and it says, well, fuck, dude, this was obviously the win you passed by. And then you can dwell on that all you like, but it doesn't change where you are.
Yeah.
And that is one of those other things, like, and as a dude that, as a man, you gotta fucking suck that up and go, you know what, this is my life.
Yeah.
And you go, fuck it. Or as a person, as a responsible person for your own emotions, you can't live in the woulda, shoulda, couldas.
Right. That's kind of things I took into consideration as of recently with my recent endeavors was like my seatbelt got locked up.
Feel free to lean in a little bit more too. I'm all concerned about.
I'm trying. The seatbelt is limiting. So seeing what you guys were all doing, Coyote and I don't know our other friends.
Oh my God, the Cosmos, man. That's his name.
Just like
Oregon.
Oregon Trail.
Oh, my roommate?
Yes.
Okay. She doesn't have a name yet.
Okay. Well, her. Your guys' adventures.
Yeah.
And like you guys, like you kind of took control, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go do this and experience and learn these other great cool things.
Uh-huh.
And just witness it and just I don't know.
Right, and that is going to different states.
And for me that's kind of that's traveling.
Right. Okay.
And taking pages out of your guys' books, which is because you were traveling, and growing up I never had a huge thing for traveling, and up until about a year ago, and maybe 2 years ago, I was kind of peeking into it and then saw people more and more doing it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing it. Screw this, And I took a small jump to Arizona because I knew I could have full control of the reins still.
Right.
And I was like, all right, let's see how this goes first, and then if this goes well, I'm gonna, or if it goes terribly, I might just make a bigger jump.
Yeah.
And go either further or, or maybe come back. Who knows?
Right.
Just play with the opportunities that will come as you get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I've always been the guy with a plan, or the man with a plan.
There he is.
And I didn't want to do that anymore, and it's really scary not having a sort of plan.
I understand that.
Because for me, it's either or on the spectrum. Like, I can't do the in between. Like, you know what, maybe we'll do this, maybe we won't. Like, I need no, we're doing this tomorrow at this time, or I have no idea what's going on tomorrow.
And you were that, and that's what we were kind of working in that environment. And I would imagine that was part of like, okay, I want to be free and have this time, but also I want to do it on my time.
Exactly.
My terms. My time.
Yeah.
I like the full freedom aspect of it. Like when I was living here and we were working up at the ranch.
Yeah.
It was full. I had full freedom and control of the reins.
But
still.
bad scheduling.
But I was terrible at scheduling.
Yeah.
And,
because it's all on you at that point.
Yeah, and that was more of a test for me to see how much. Let's see, not integrity, but like how
much freedom you could have before it soiled your ethics or work ethic or
my work, and the for my work ethic, I make myself do it, I don't give up quick.
Fuck, your accountability? I don't know.
Kind of, I don't know, but because I'm like, okay, I can just leave early every day if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And at some points I did, some points I didn't. And it really kind of depended on the day. So that was the thing I didn't like about, that everyone goes through at their normal jobs. You look at 8 to 4 type job.
Right.
Why the fuck am I here when there's nobody here?
This job sucks. All I'm doing is raking dirt all day, and I can't leave for another 6 hours.
Yeah.
Because this has to be done, or there's something to do today, so just hang out and figure something out for the rest of the 6
Yeah, you have to stay here even though there's no reason for you to fucking be here.
Exactly. And at the ranch, there's they told us hey, there's nothing to do. If you want to find some BS to do, go for it. But if not, you can just head out.
If you need the hours, you're welcome to stay and clean something up. Or if you
or just go home.
or I'll see you in a month.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
That I appreciated that more, though it may have meant less money at the end of the day. But it's hey, they're honest, and it's it's my own determination kind of. So it's all on me at that point.
Okay.
And I just didn't like the idea of someone being over me. But I'm trying to trail off a little bit here.
It's okay. It sounds like it's hard to be fully in control of your own shit. Beep bop boop. It's hard to be 100% governing your own schedule, but it's also very relaxing and not fucking therapeutic, but it's
you don't have to force yourself if you don't want to. If you don't feel good that day, you don't have to be like, oh man, I got to worry about. Okay, I use my sick days up.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're gonna be mad.
Me to take a day off.
Yeah.
Do they believe me that I'm sick and I've been sick 3 times this month?
The percentage of your time that is just bullshit, which is what I think a lot of the 40-hour work week can become, depending on whatever job we have, of course.
Right.
It could just be, okay, well, make sure you stay busy. I run into that a little bit with being a firefighter because, once we start rolling, then it's a whole different situation. Once we're actually on a fire, then we're doing our fucking shit. But when we're waiting around for a call, we still have to meet our 40 hours a week, and we'll show up, and sometimes there just won't be any projects for us, I can't tell you how many times we'll inventory our fucking shit. Okay, yes, we have this many tools on the rig. We all fucking know that. Oh, let's break them all out and sharpen them for 6 fucking hours. Dude, you kidding me? and it's good to get away from that. But also, it can be hard, at least for me, to hold myself accountable sometimes if my schedule is entirely dictated by myself. Like, I'll be like, I don't want to fucking go to work today.
Yeah. Well, I think you need both. You need, like, for me, it's, okay, the weed's coming in a little bit. We got to harvest.
Have to.
Or, the grass is all growing. Got to cut it all down.
Right.
We got to build retaining walls. We got to make all these things. This can't wait.
Time to buckle down.
We got to burn these burn piles because we only have fucking 20 days because there's no rain.
Right.
And you schedule yourself accordingly. Everybody has their busy time, and everybody has their lulls.
Yeah.
And when you're your own boss, you don't have to feel like you have to make the lulls be the same as the high points.
Right.
That's just not how life works.
I see.
Yeah.
And you can use that time to reinvest in yourself.
Yeah.
When you're back from the mountain, you want to fucking go to dinner probably.
Yeah, dude.
You want to fucking enjoy civilization.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You're not
I
like.
can't tell you how like, especially if we're spiking out and it's like a bunch of MREs. When we get back, like, all I want is like a chicken sandwich from Burger King, or just like the most like industrialized like piece of food that I can get my hand on, like that is just like the truest representation of civilization at that point. I want to just like fucking smash something from McDonald's or something all the time, but I also want to go somewhere really nice and local and enjoy the fact.
Well,
that
and see your friends and do your things.
Yeah, exactly.
And use that money the way that makes you feel good, because that ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about balancing working hard and pushing and then letting yourself be fed.
For sure.
And I don't think that men are supposed to do that. My hands look like this, so her hands look like this.
That's a big one.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't, like, I'm all about equality.
Yeah.
Why my hands look... Our hands look like this so we can get these toys, or we can get whatever.
The archetype... I said that word a few fucking times, and
That's
now every
fine.
time I say it, my brain's gonna melt. But the archetype of a man, of like the caregiver, I feel like... Which is funny, because when I say that, I automatically think of a woman, like a nurse or a mom or whatever. But the archetype of... Not even necessarily caregiver, but provider is a better word. I feel like that's pretty common for men. And I remember experiencing a little bit of it when I was like 16 years old. I was dating this freshman in high school who had some health issues and had really, I don't know, had like a strange relationship with her parents and felt very misunderstood. And she felt like, as I understand it now, she felt like I was the person that understood her, right?
Yeah.
And I was helping, and other people
were the
were
light
not
in the
helping.
dark.
I was the fucking shining armor, right?
Lighthouse over here.
And that was like a lot of pressure, but I just took it on all onto myself, and it was just like, no, I'll do it. I'm gonna fucking do this thing for you. and I was 16 fucking years old.
Well, because you want to, though.
I was a little boy, and I did want to, but it also felt very good to be like a man running shit, Like, especially when you're that young, because you never feel like a man and never feel like you're running shit, because all the decisions are made for you.
It's your first step into it, into some sort of control and wanting relationships and all those man things you saw your elders do.
Right, exactly. And that role of the provider is something that I think sticks with us, kind of consciously or not. Like, we have to be financially successful. And I've met, I think I've met some dudes that don't necessarily feel the same way, but the vast majority of guys that I've met do feel like they need to be financially successful.
Totally.
And I feel like I've met some people that identify as different ways, or just haven't grown up with that same stigma, for whom that is not as consistent. Like, they don't feel this like overwhelming urge to be successful and to own property and to have a safe retirement fund and all of this like money shit that is now associated with being a successful dude.
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those guys.
True. Yeah.
I don't feel the crippling pressure of not having 10 G's in my bank account, or like a my car runs.
Yeah.
I eat regularly.
Yeah.
I can take my girlfriend out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I can do the things that make me feel like I'm successful.
Yeah.
Because that's, to me, I'm trying to get wealth, not money. And I think that being the provider for so long, men being the provider for so long, we lost the sense of what it means to have wealth. Because you're working,
what wealth
you
is.
work 70 hours a week, and you come home and your wife is everyone's estranged from you. You're a stranger
because you're gone.
But they appreciate you, but you're never around to appreciate them.
Yeah.
But you just do it for them, and I feel like that model builds all this resentment, and in turn feeds this weird male, like, ego, kind of like dominance, like, well, I deserve it because I work really hard, and fuck you. All I want is a beer. And now
you have all these things is because of me.
I'm gonna take this away then.
Yeah.
See what happens when I quit my job and do what I want to do. And,
right.
Yeah.
And no, your mom doesn't even have a work schedule. She just does whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah. I've met a couple guys in my work that, like, that is their life. They have a wife for a vast majority of the time, because it comes with the territory. A baby mama more than a wife.
Yeah.
And
more commonly now.
Yeah, more common for who I tend to surround myself with for 6 months out of the year. They go out and they work and they bust their fucking asses off all season long, so that their kid and their baby mama can have their shit.
Yeah, be supported.
Yeah, and it all kind of buttons up pretty well for them, because this is the only thing they know how to do. It's the only thing that makes them feel like a person and successful, because they don't know how to do anything else, and they're pretty good at what they do, and it's in 6 month stints, so they get a break from these people, but get to come back, and it's all pretty neat and squared away for them. But still, it's them being the provider, and like what you're talking about, Lynn, probably not really knowing, probably having a skewed interpretation of wealth.
Yeah.
Or because do they really have a kid, a partner in that scenario? Like, I don't know. It's tricky, because like, your kid doesn't see you for at least half the year. You're just gone the whole time. And how is that going to impact your relationship growing up? How long are you going to be doing this? And this translates over to a more regular 9 to 5, gone for most of the day, or any kind of seasonal gig, any kind of gig that requires travel, like truck driving or, whatever. They're gone. They go out, they do the shit, and that can really impact the relationship.
No,
If that's the
it
case,
will.
what are you doing it all for?
Hopefully to, at the end of the day, feel proud of yourself and feel like you filled the role that you told yourself you're trying to fill.
Yeah.
It's more, at that point, it's more of a mantra than a lifestyle. Or that mantra becomes your lifestyle. You go, okay, I work 6 months and I'll be home 6 months, or and you just keep doing that until your 12-year-old kid, you've only seen enough to be 6 years old.
Oh man.
It's half your time. It's half a life, and that's priorities.
Yeah.
Is it your kids are more important and your partner, or do you really just want to do what you want to do and you fucked up and had a kid?
Yeah, or is it like, okay, well now the only thing that I can do to support these people is
to just grind myself into the dirt,
into paste,
because I wasn't
dust.
prepared. And if I would have had a kid any time before this, I would have probably been stuck in a job I hated for a long time.
Yeah.
Doing the exact same thing, the literally exact same job my dad does. Not to say he doesn't like it and whatever, but he definitely has his days where he's fucking
Some
overworked.
resentments. Yeah.
Some resentments, and I hear it in his voice, and when he comes home and he's, and we talked about it before. It's like, well, where's dinner? Is dinner ready?
Right.
It's
Can
like,
we just
no,
have dinner?
we just have dinner on time. Like,
Yeah.
or tell me if not. Like,
Right.
or can I just have my day off?
Yeah.
Like, you have all these plans for me, and don't schedule my time, because I want to go golf.
Yeah.
I want to go and do whatever the fuck I want. I want to be able to go play poker, or because I work so fucking hard.
Yeah, I need a fucking breath. That kind of attitude.
Yep.
Oh,
PP time.
PP time.
16 fluid ounces.
Yeah. And 2 dicks later. 2 dicks later. 3 dicks later. 3 dicks later.
Watch out for snakes.
I could also go for a pee.
Well, and is all that frustration bubbling into why we're seeing so many effeminate men today?
What do you mean?
Like men that side with
like
I'm a male feminist. I'm looking to get on that train.
Huh.
Because I don't want to wear this
manner that are
this,
like I'm going to fucking express myself.
Yeah, like
kind of manner.
Well, just the more like the everyone's like, oh, these millennials and these whatever
snowflakes.
All these snowflake liberal kids, cucks.
Yeah.
They don't get it. They want all this for nothing.
Right,
And they don't know what real work is.
That's the backlash of that like proto masculinity.
Yep.
And I see a lot of that shit at work. Like it very much comes with the territory. It's like a lot of salty, spiteful, old dudes that are fucking dudes, you know? We're all men. We don't gotta talk about shit. What are you, fucking pussy? Like that attitude. What's going on? You do something?
What's happening?
Just making sure my phone didn't fall out of the car just there.
Just now?
Maybe. I don't see
That's
it.
why I was taking it to make sure I have my phone.
Okay, let me turn around here.
You fool.
I might be. Jaw full.
Jeff Fool?
Jeff Hawk.
Okay, does anyone have reception to call me?
Yeah.
God damn it.
God damn it, Cosmos.
Oh, wait, found it.
Oh,
Where it was in my ass.
Ah, right where I left it.
Dude, yes. But yes,
Yeah, I run into a lot of that shit at work. A lot of like old school masculinity, and it's hard. And I have to like right now I have 2 female roommates who are pretty hippie, you know, very very
emotionally available.
Yeah, emotionally attuned.
There you go.
And it's like a very stark contrast working and then coming home, because I work all day and it's like keep that shit inside, shut up, do the fucking job. And then I get home and it's like, let's talk about our feelings and tell me about how your day went. Sometimes it's like overwhelming. My system is like, dude, what do you fucking want from me? Yeah. Like, god damn. But I have a question. So I've always, I don't have it anymore, but for the vast majority of my life, probably until I was like 22, I had this weird like point system in regards to sex. Like I always kind of, even if it was sex that I didn't want to have with someone that I didn't want to have it with, and it was bad time and a bad place, everything was bad, I would still be like, but I did fuck though. You know what I mean? Like it would still be like, yeah, but I got the point. I got the check.
Yeah, I cash that.
Yeah, like for some reason it's not even like, because if I think about it and I think, was it because I wanted my number to be higher? You know, my body count? Is it because I wanted that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just that biological, like, well, you did spread seed and thusly fulfilled your biological promise.
There's definitely a lot of that biological promise.
Yeah.
But I think that the value of the fuck in question is always, it's on a scale individually, or where you are in your, like, it's not always, yep, there's my body count.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, that was really nice. Like,
even when it wasn't really nice.
Even when it was, or like, ugh, like, well, at least I fucked, you know?
Exactly. I always have that.
Well, you know,
Or always had that.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to say, well, at least sex came out of it, and I don't want that anymore. Like, the post-nut clarity of like, oh, that's not going to happen again. Mm-hmm. I didn't really want it to happen in the first place, but it did, and it's a win, because I had fun. I enjoyed it, regardless of if it was the most optimal thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, oh, I got out of my system.
Yeah.
And then, and for me, it was like, partially half of it was like, well, who knows when I'm going to have this opportunity again.
That was a part of it, too.
And that was kind of detrimental, honestly, at some points, where I was like, I don't like this person, I don't view this person like that.
Yeah.
And, why, and then you get that, you know, peak of, like, horniness, like, cloudiness.
Oh,
and, like,
God, just like...
Yeah, like, you just got that pre-nut fog.
Yep.
And
Fog of war.
yeah.
Fog of war.
As soon as I cleared up, like, what the hell was that?
Fuck did I just do?
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Well, or you get into those, that becomes a relationship.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one of those where like all of a sudden you're dating that person?
Like
Yes.
twice.
And you go,
What the fuck?
Why do I do this?
What the fuck?
I'm just like cushioning a blow that is inevitable
Yeah.
because I don't want this.
Yeah.
Like and
That's
and,
happened to me before.
And that's the only time I've ever cheated on a girl. Was she was very persistent in asking me out and chased me down, and I was
Right.
like, okay,
You
fine.
gave up.
And I just could tell that it wasn't there, but I tried really hard. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be that fuckboy. I'm going to make this work.
Yeah, okay, I'll meet my due diligence here. I'll pay my dues.
I'll pay my dues. Like,
Yeah.
this is, I said it, I'm going to do it.
Uh-huh.
I'm a man of my word. I'll fucking try my best.
Oh, dude.
And talk about getting in your own way.
That's so bad.
And then she went to Italy for, the summer.
Uh-huh.
And I was hanging out with people, and then I ran into my ex-girlfriend who was like very sexually, had a lot of sexual prowess.
Danger.
But at the same time, I thought I was good. And the whole time that current girlfriend was away, I was working out because like, okay, when she gets back, I'm going to be all fucking ripped.
I'm all
You're going to
hot.
2 months, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I lost all the baby fat, and I fucking really got ripped.
Yeah.
And then here comes this ex of mine who's like, oh, we should hang out and just like have a conversation, because we're really, like, to this day, we just like to have conversations. She's
Yeah.
a really good back and forth conversationalist.
Yeah.
And it just turned into this, like, the tension was building that there was something.
Yeah.
And that night, got a blowy, and immediately after I was like, I just fucking did that. Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
And just felt shitty, even
Yeah.
though I knew. And I tried to break up with the girl before, but she went on vacation, but it just, she got emotional, and I was like, okay, it's fine, we'll try and make it work.
Yeah.
I just want you to enjoy your vacation, and I want to enjoy my summer.
Right.
I'm 22. I'm 20. I was a fresh 21.
Oh man.
And yeah, but
Spring chicken.
Yeah.
but I should have read that whole situation better. And it makes me feel good to know that I only did that because I already knew it wasn't going to work. And I don't look back on it and go, what an asshole I was for cheating on that girl. I go, well, what the fuck else do you think was going to happen? The writing was on the wall. Like, you didn't want it to start with.
Yeah, I was talking to my mom. I was telling her about how, I fucking lied to my ex, and she was saying, well, like, I don't think this was my case, but she said, well, I've been in the scenario wherein I was desperate for a way out, and I wasn't even aware that I was, and that was just the route that I took to get out of it. Like, I think that happens to a lot of people, probably. I think that a lot of people find themselves in a spot where they can't come up with the reason why they want to break up with the person that they're with, and then they see just something attractive in somebody else, and they spring at the opportunity because they they don't want to be with the person they're with.
Yeah.
And they...
Self-sabotage, unbeknownst to yourself.
Yes, exactly. It is, totally self-sabotage.
Subconscious sabotage.
Yep.
That's a band name right there.
Subconscious sabotage. Oh my god.
That's 3 emo girls.
Yeah. I listen to them.
I would listen to them.
But yeah, I mean that happens to a lot of fucking people.
No, it does.
Yeah. That's what kind of like led me to start like recently my recent ventures with with girls is like from the get-go letting them know like, hey, I don't want a relationship out of this. I just want a beneficial casual thing, and just so we're like later on neither of us get blindsided.
Right.
And I don't want to waste your time if you're not interested in that.
Right.
That's good.
Or at least leading you on.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, because before I figured that out, that would just be killer on my mind. Like,
Right.
weighing me down every day. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta figure out how to, like, get out of this.
Yeah.
And cause I had that happen twice where, like, it turned into a relationship, and I just didn't have the, I don't know, maturity to
just end it.
to communicate that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, hey, that was just that,
Yeah.
And the first time I did that, I was like, wow, that really kind of sucked. Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
it always does.
Telling her after, like, hey, like, you know, she's like all excited, we're like in a relationship now.
Oh man, after the fact too?
After.
Oh.
Yeah, like she's like, oh, you know, she's like, our friends are going out to a nice like fancy dinner like next week. We should go.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just got this new dress and stuff, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nope, right now. And then this big explanation.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, this big explanation of why, and like, you know, and expecting her to not ever want to talk to me again.
Right.
And I would not have blamed her, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's and she surprisingly took it pretty well, and then it just, I don't know. Apparently the message didn't fully get through, because later it was still an issue. Kind of like, oh, you know, we want to date, basically, you know.
Right.
How was that? And it's like, no, what the fuck? We're hanging out.
Well, you're misunderstanding. I'm trying to kill you, and you just won't die.
Yeah. And just stay dead.
Just
Get off of me.
Just die already.
We got a clinger.
Yeah. It's just killing. So like, but yeah, now it's so much nicer. Like from the gate, you know, like, oh hey, here's why I want this, and you know, I just can't handle a relationship right now.
You do need to do that.
Yeah.
You need to make your intentions known from the start.
And
it's like we've talked about before with lying or being dishonest. Like if there's a golden moment, it is immediately, you know, to break open and be honest. And,
don't let it fester.
Yeah, but it's obviously much better to never find yourself in that situation to begin with. So
yeah, well, it's like knowing yourself, and that's one of the shitty things about men not being allowed to be emotional or being chastised for being emotional is like. Yeah. How else are you gonna know what the fuck you want in your life?
Oh, that's so true. I know a fucking few older men that have no idea what they want because they never got the chance to explore that to begin with and to be expressive and to fucking figure it out.
And you see the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
And that's where I go, yeah, you can have all the fucking toys in the world, and it's not gonna make you feel better if you don't know why you want them, or like if you don't know the real reason you're doing these things. Like, you're just running on autopilot, running on making money, running on getting pussy, you know, because that's what your fucking dick is telling you to do. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have any other emotional response, the one thing all dudes agree on is fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Good. And then that's where that weird like boyish pack mentality takes over. And you have what is it? It's definitely a slur on Native Americans. It's too many Indian, or no chiefs, too many Indians, or what is it?
Two chiefs, no Indians.
Okay, so that it's the opposite. It's too many Indians, no chiefs. And you're all just fucking murdering everything and
ramming each other up.
You're just consuming all of the shit, and you don't have any guiding path.
Yeah.
No experience.
I do really love like how boys being boys has changed for me over the last like 5 years. Like, because it used to be just like get drunk as fuck with your boys, make a whole bunch of noise, pound your chest, fucking
be loud and proud,
loud
baby.
as fuck, and talk about slamming pussy. Yep. But instead, now boys being boys for me is us driving around in a car talking about things and getting yerbs and you know a smoothie and fucking it's good.
And I love it.
Yeah, I love it for sure. And
well, it's so much less energy you have to use to get the same results.
It's fucking exhausting for some other people. I remember in high school, like me and my homies were very tight. Like me and
Tony Lotions.
And me and Tony Lotions, Tony Lotions for sure. And like just some other buddies. They might be on at some point, so I'll leave their names off just in case. But it was a pack of like 6 dudes, right?
Yeah.
And we were all very close. Like everybody, I didn't drink at that time, and so I even then didn't have a lot of the like, boys, dudes, kind of bullshit, alpha bullshit. But we were all, and thusly we were all very close. Like we would hang out and skate all night and just hang out with each other all the time. And other people our age that were like 16 years old would just hang out with other dudes for drinking and partying sake. Mm-hmm. Like if they were ever going to be expressive or emotional in any kind of way, it had to be with a girl that they were with, you know? Yeah. And usually I was probably in response to whatever they were feeling. Mm-hmm. Instead of the dude coming up and be like, hey, we need to talk about this. It was a lot of like, you know,
I gotta go talk to my girlfriend.
It was a lot of just fucking like surfer NPC bullshit.
Well, it's like I gotta get so fucked up that I don't worry about it.
Yes.
And that's a lot of that, and that's where you like again bringing up like emo and scene kids and goth kids and all these groups and jocks.
Yeah.
Anything that like you see the jocks get fucked. Some jocks get fucked up and then cry.
Yeah,
and you go,
real.
oh, dude, what's going on? You didn't never show this side of yourself.
I had no idea you had feelings.
It's like, oh, good to see you, dude.
Yeah, welcome.
Now we know who you are.
Yeah, and that's what it was for a lot of those guys, and a lot of guys still like I know people that need to get drunk to hang out with their friends because they don't know who the fuck they are.
Yep.
You know.
And they don't remember what they talk about when they get fucked up. Because they're too fucked up and they black out all the fucking time.
And that's the only way that they can talk about anything is if they're guaranteed not to remember talking about it.
Why do you think alcoholism is so prevalent in this fucking country?
Yeah.
We're just stifling ourselves all the fucking time, and there's no other outlets for all these dudes that don't have anyone to fucking help them figure out what actually they want and what they're just running on this idea. And there's this, especially like an American man. I feel like the working man, the American working man.
Yeah.
And that's all you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes. Oh yeah. Comes straight to fucking mind.
And it isn't necessary. I mean, it's good. It's good until it isn't. I love the work ethic of some of these people that I have learned the lesson of like, well, but you got to be emotional too.
Yeah.
Like the ulcers that you're forming from working so hard are going to cost you more than you made this year.
Yeah.
Literally to get a surgery to fix them.
Yep.
Like you're damaging your body by not taking care of the shit. And they go, well, I got me an ulcer and it feels good that I got that.
I know.
I'm proud of it. See this beer good?
Want to hear how hard I worked for nothing?
Yeah.
That's a big one. That's a constant.
Yeah, well, that was my biggest, like this last fire season when I was out there with the equipment.
Yep.
And I was talking to those other dudes, those two older guys that had Chipper out there.
Yeah.
And just hearing how they let their amazing work ethic just destroy their life.
Yeah.
Like one guy told me, he's like, he never made it to he has 2 kids. He didn't make it to a single football game, a single event, a single graduation.
Yeah.
Like barely birthday parties, if he
man.
was lucky, you know. Like. And the other one, he's like, he's like, I just don't have contact with my kids or wife anymore.
Oh, God.
My wife just packed them up and left, and I paid, like, all the money I'm making from here, half it goes to her now.
That sounds so miserable.
And that was terrifying to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's when I was kind of like idolizing the whole, like, when I was dating my ex,
and wanting to be that provider
wanting to be that provider. And, like, because her situation she had. And I was like, okay, I really got to be I gotta really make some money here to give her and her kid a good life.
Yeah.
And just to be that role for them and be a father figure.
Yes.
And after hearing that, I got back to service that night and I texted her. I was like, hey, like if I told her the whole thing I heard. I was like, if I ever get like that, punch me in the throat. Like, just just keep doing it until I realize what's happening.
Yeah, right.
Just beat me up,
dude. I'm only 23. But I swear to God, I've been there before. Like, I'm there now. Like, my job, I make fucking, like, $14.75 an hour. And
work harder than most people.
I work very hard, you know? I would prefer to, compare myself to myself, obviously.
One of the hardest jobs.
And I am working as hard as my tank will allow me to. Like, I've passed out before at work just from fucking, exertion. Mm-hmm. And it's like we run through so many medical scenarios and so many medical drills so that we're prepared for something to happen. Like it's not really a question of if
it's when
work, it's when. And that's so fucking scary. Like I have a very very trustworthy overhead, and I would never expect something to happen, but shit happens to people all the time. It's never like, oh, I'm gonna die this year. It's never those. It's
well, you cut your fucking person's hand with your chainsaw.
Well, that's
the whole thing.
But still, that's a very real scenario for like that could totally fucking happen.
Yeah,
and that's a big drill that we run a lot.
Exactly,
is somebody getting cut with a chainsaw, and like it is insane how difficult and expensive it can be to get somebody the fuck out of there in that scenario. And what is it? That's exactly what you're talking about, Red. Like it's something that I could, like, if I get a femoral artery cut out in the woods, it could be 3-4 hours until I receive higher medical attention, and that can absolutely mean the death of me. And it's that can only be one person's mistake. Like,
it could be your mistake.
It could be my mistake. It could be somebody else's mistake. It could be anything. And that's one person's mistake out of, you know, potentially 20 people making a mistake every day for 14 days straight for 6 months, you know? And then you factor in heat exhaustion and sometimes a lack of water and breaking yourself off every day.
Lack of, like, actual food.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking MREs. And I don't mean to overhype my job.
No, that's fine. No,
people in my line of work don't even, there are years where nobody in my line of work dies. But still, to run through so many medical scenarios so that we're sure that we're going to be prepared if anything does happen is very scary. And I hate to equate, like, I hate to give my life a fucking a number, like, I hate to give my life worth like that, but it's not worth $14.75 an hour, you know, even though it's all overtime and hazard pay, woo, still. And what all that is that dummy soldier mentality that gets kind of fostered into us, and was definitely fostered into me.
Hoorah, buddy.
From the older dudes in my life. It's a lot of suck it up and do the fucking thing, and it's not about the money that you make out of it. I do believe that life is largely what you put into it. I've cleaned a vehicle knowing that no one was going to appreciate it except for me immediately after the fact. And I didn't get paid any more for it, but I did, like, work really hard, you know? And that felt very gratifying. And because of that, I still think of cleaning that vehicle.
Good.
But still, there is a lot of, like, that soldier mentality of shut the fuck up and do the fucking thing.
Yeah, no, that can shut up, dude.
That can, and that can ultimately lead to me dying.
Yeah.
And it can lead to a lot of people not knowing their kids, like you're talking about.
Yeah. Or just, you at one point, it might not even be you die, you maim yourself, and then you're crippled for the rest of your life.
That's horrifying.
And you can't run saw ever.
And then I don't know what the fuck I would do.
Then you got to change it. But that happens to people who pile drive themselves into this path, and then they do it so hard and not recklessly, but some people do it recklessly. Yeah. Because you as soon as you figure out, okay, this is what my job is, you get comfortable.
Yeah.
And then that's when you hurt yourself or others or whatever, and then you maim yourself. You fucking drop or others. You drop a fucking you drop your backhoe bucket on somebody's ankle and it's pulverized.
Fucking pulverized.
Pulverized. Or dude, it's or you fucking do whatever and you fall down a cliff because you're not paying the fuck attention and you cripple your from the neck down.
Yeah, man.
It's and then you don't have the emotional tools to know what to do with it after because you only spent time oorahing.
Exactly. Yeah. And you could have some, like, cowboy influences too, because that happens at my work a lot too. Like, there'll be other dudes be like, "Nah, just fucking do it, man." When you know, like, I'll be like, "Hey, I don't think this is safe for me to do," and they'll be like, "Come on, just fucking do it," you know? And
there you go. Yeah, you're right.
They're enforcing the complacency rather than the opposite.
Yes.
And there's lots of guys who don't do that, but there fucking are some dudes do that.
Well, it helps get the job done.
It does. Yeah, it gets it done quicker if you just shut up and do it.
Yep.
And that's all that a lot of people care about.
Well, then, getting raised by my male influences, like, they all had very dangerous, like, manly jobs, you know, like, there's, you know, every day could be the last day at work, you know, and then, so I was always kind of chasing that, like, wanting to be the cowboy type of thing, you know, like, people will be impressed the deadlier the job you have, you know, I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, wow, Red's fucking a man. Yeah. Crazy.
You believe what fucking Red does, dude? Holy shit,
what Red does? And then that never happened, and even if it did, why would it matter? Like,
why the fuck would you want a job where you might die?
Yeah, it should be like, wow, Red's kind of stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, Red could be making a lot more, doing a lot less. That wasn't very smart of him.
Yeah. And then, like, when I was at my tree service job here, like, I was making good money, or for my, you know what? No, it was good money. And like, I won't downgrade it by saying for my age. It was good money.
It's pretty
good. But and dating that girl, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm almost at the level of man I want to be. like
time to dig my teeth in, or
Yeah,
sink
going
my
off-
teeth, or dig my claws in.
yeah, going off the example of my stepdad, he was a strong, father figure. Well, obviously his stepdad, but like, he helped raise. He actually raised me to,
Right.
who I am.
Yeah.
And I had a very similar job to him, and very similar situation. Dating a girl who had a kid, and I was like, okay, wow, I'm almost there.
Yeah.
All I need is a house, like my own house, and I'll be good. And
then I'll be a man.
And then I'll be a man.
Ugh.
And then one day it was killer for me because I had a couple kind of close calls, because it's in that line of work when you're climbing a fucking 150-foot tree.
Yeah.
You're really just relying on like 2 pieces of equipment,
Right.
and it's just
fucking
really
rope.
Yeah, it's like a knot in your thing, on your belt, and 2 spikes in a tree.
Yeah.
If one of those fails, it's kind of it.
Yeah.
You might get lucky and one might catch you. That's it.
Yeah.
And I saw a video on Instagram one day. It was just it was really sad. To this day, it'll probably make me cry again. It just broke me. Where it started pushing me to kind of think about leaving that job. Where it was like it was just a kid, a toddler, crying because his dad died at work.
Yeah.
Or because of his work.
Yeah.
And just crying for his dad. The mom's trying to comfort him. And that broke me down. And I was like, okay, I gotta get out of here, because that was a huge fear of mine. I was like, oh, if I have my own kid with this girl,
Yep.
and I die at work, it's for nothing.
Yeah, dude.
Cool, I made some money along the way.
Yeah.
And then,
you died for a fucking tree?
yeah, I died for that hourly rate.
Yeah, for a couple grand.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's worth it.
Yeah.
Now this kid has issues growing up,
Yeah.
it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Yep.
then all it took was that one, after realizing that, it took that one last close call for me to say, fuck this,
Yeah.
I'm done,
Yep, I'm out
I
of here.
quit.
Yeah.
Here's my resignation.
Yep.
And then
Very few jobs are worth a drop of blood, man.
Well,
That's
thank
my
goodness
philosophy.
for the internet to help everybody see other ways of living and reactions to the way you think you want to live.
Yeah.
And there's
see
a
the
lot.
aftermath of it.
Yeah, to see, okay, if I keep going, I'm never going to see my kids. And this is what a crying child looking for his dad and asking why he's
Oh,
never
man.
around feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And you'll get to the end of the line and go, well, I don't know my kid, but at least I fed him every day, and that feels good. And you make
Oh,
excuses for how it feels.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he did get to go to that really nice school. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what he's into, but I'm glad he's going to school.
Yeah.
He should be doing well.
I hear he's really good at soccer.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh, God, that's rough.
That- kill it.
that talk about dropping blood.
Fucking A.
To me, I don't want to have a kid unless I know I'm gonna fucking be a part of their life.
Dude, Abe fucking meant to
Why-
that.
Like all these sperm donors don't got shit on parents that are there.
Right.
Like, sorry, but that's really like why'd you have a kid? I mean, I understand that. Like, I mean, I'm an accident. I happened, but
It happens.
Oh, you're talking about, no, you mean not literal sperm donors.
Well,
Like, people-
like sperm
Okay.
donors are different.
I got lost for a second.
No,
But yeah,
no,
we're-
like Jacody or Tony Lotions calls his dad a sperm donor
Yeah, right.
because
exactly.
he's just a fucking piece of shit and he's off doing being selfish.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna dump your load and go be selfish
Yeah.
without any fucking recompense.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I mean, my dad, to an extent, like, I mean, it was different because he was married and there was some time when he wanted to be around, but, like, fuck, dude, you you sure fucking weren't around, man.
Yeah.
You sure fucking weren't around.
And that's where you as the son get to make the choice.
That's true.
And I'm glad you chose to be inclusive rather
Yeah.
than angry,
Yeah,
or
me too.
or to understand and not lash out at him.
Yeah, I
Right.
told you that, Red, that I met my...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I fucking hear that. A lot of sperm donors just like get in there, kind of, and then it could be true too that you may think that you actually can handle a fucking kid right
And
now,
then you can't.
and you fucking can't. Like, that's still on you for not knowing what the fuck you can handle. Like, it's nobody else's fault that you bit off more than you can chew.
Yeah,
Right.
you're here now.
Yeah, and I think that might have been what would have happened to you, Red, if you stuck down that path.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, if it wasn't for that extra, I don't want to say baggage.
Motivator, or what?
Yeah, the extra motivator in that relationship, and like
motivator to leave.
I'd probably be in that same boat right now. I wouldn't be gone, just due to my belief,
Right.
But like,
You wouldn't be as happy as
I wouldn't
you
be
could
nearly as happy, and that was one thing I started thinking about too. Towards the end of that relationship, I was like, wow, I can really stay committed here, and just be tied down here forever.
Yeah.
Or I can go do my own thing,
Right.
and learn and try to experience a lot more.
Yeah.
And once I get older, I can have others be more worldly and wise, hopefully.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to be later on.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
I think that you really need to have some time alone before you
Yes.
can raise a kid.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And yeah, because growing up, when I was 16, the girl I was dating throughout almost all of high school,
Yeah.
we were totally planning on that typical life. I was like, oh, okay, after high school, we're going to get married,
Yeah.
and we're going to have kids after, once I get a job.
Oh,
Like,
man.
yeah, we're going to have kids. And then that was the plan. And I was totally down for it. Like, in high school, I was looking at engagement rings.
Oh.
And looking back now, I'm like, what the
What
fuck
the
was I
fuck, dude?
Yep.
Yeah.
How
Like,
would I have ever done
It's
that?
like me and her
Yeah.
just would not ever have made it in any type of thing. Like,
Right.
she's a great person and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And just
Disclaimer,
you-
disclaimer.
her and I together just wasn't a thing.
I
you
hear
know?
you.
It didn't co-align. Because we're growing up in high school and becoming our own people somewhat.
Yeah, you're in the real world now, though, and it's
I'm
different.
still developing, and like,
For sure, dude.
and
No,
like
I think you got that figured out, dude.
I'm
You're
set
done.
to go. Yeah,
You got to figure it out.
I can call it a day.
You know, I think I got this karma thing figured out.
Yeah, get like, that's me, everybody.
Yeah, it's Cosmos, baby.
A nice,
yeah. It's just ridiculous, kind of looking back at those kind of things,
Dude,
and
for sure.
I was like, and my mom was totally on board with it,
Yeah.
and both my parents. There's
Mom, come on.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
like she's like, oh, you guys been together for a couple years, you're good to go.
That's dude. And
You say you love her.
That's
for it.
that's running on Windows XP right there, dude.
Seriously, that's
Oh.
some antiquated software she's got.
That's
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's kind of the life my mom kind of lived, and
Or like idolize in a way.
I idolized her growing up, and I was like, oh, I just want that standard suburban life,
Right.
Like I want to have a wife, a couple kids, my house, and a couple dogs,
Yeah.
like
That sounds nice.
the one
The good
toy I
life.
want is my nice truck.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna ask for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad I didn't fully subscribe to it at least yet. Later on in life, great. I'm still down for that.
Right.
But
A little
just
older,
now,
wiser.
yeah, I just want to, just have different types of experiences to tell my kid, not standard ones that most parents have around our area.
Yeah.
Well, it's too bad you're way less of a man for choosing that.
That's
Yeah.
right. You are a fucking
you
pussy.
fucking pussy man.
And now
Bread.
I'm just a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's right. And that's how fucking a lot of people see it.
Yeah.
So
What do you mean? What do you
I
mean
could
you're
be like
not?
these two kids right here.
Yeah.
Little
Just-
swaggets, dude.
just
A
look at
little
them.
VTech.
Honda Civic swags.
Oh man.
Ugh.
Carlos. But yeah, no, it's. I'm so glad that I don't have a kid yet, because anyone that I have had sex with,
Deny.
the only person I thought I was going to left, and that in itself, like, that's the whole thing. You can build up this idea of what it's going to be so much
Oh yeah.
that you're not even in reality anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and it falls apart because it isn't real.
Well, how many times have you just not been in reality in a relationship?
Most of them.
Most of them.
All of them up until this one,
Yeah.
and
We'll
see.
we'll see. Like
Not to say I have it set or I know everything.
Right, exactly. Like,
But this feels the most honest and
Yes.
functional.
and ideally, that's how it always is, right?
Yeah.
Like you're always just getting better. You're always
Well, and
figuring
it's
out what you want
a
more.
relationship is me and my girlfriend.
Yes.
It's me and my significant other, and that's our own little reality.
Yeah.
We get to make that's the whole thing. Like, your house is your house.
Hmm.
People aren't going to come into your house and be like, "Hey, Coyote, I want your couch over there." This is my
yeah,
reality.
that's
Get the
true.
fuck out of here. I pay my rent.
Video your own Skyrim.
Video your own fucking Skyrim.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as a relationship. It's like no one's gonna come in unless it's really bad and say, "Hey, man, your fucking relationship sucks ass."
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
If it's going well, no one says that shit.
Yeah.
Or if you have people that stick to their own lane.
Very few people would have the balls to say that, even if it was true.
True.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's the whole thing. Your relationship is your business, and your
Yeah.
business is your reality, as unrealistic as it might be.
Mm.
Get that baby mama with 3 kids,
Yeah.
and buy her everything she wants, and,
Right.
and do everything for her.
That is your world right
If
now.
that's what you believe, then that's what you can do. I'm not trying to yuck your yum.
Right.
If that makes you feel good, do it.
Yeah.
But by all means, understand that there is so much more to being a man than getting up at 4:30 in the morning, working till 4:30 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and maybe getting a beer and hanging out in your truck for a couple hours.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Or not being able to, or being too tired to see your kid play sports, or go to the family functions, or
Yeah.
or sorry, I took this job and it's running over. I'm not going to be around for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's not
Fuck, dude.
that to me is not worth it.
Yes.
And I think that because that's how America is kind of founded on that, it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
But you look at other countries that they're not even allowed to work that much. They have to take mandatory vacations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have realized it isn't go because you burn you only have so much wood in this fire that is your life.
Yeah.
And if you're not going out to find more, you're gonna just use up
That's
everything
true.
around you.
That's good.
And you're gonna have to you're not gonna be able to maintain it.
Yeah.
It's not what does Rolf say? He who burns the candle at both ends up leading the life of a hairdresser.
Oh my God, Rolf.
Rolf.
Dude, I haven't met a single person who's, middle-aged, like 60s and later, that has been like, oh, I wish I worked more.
Yeah.
It's always, I wish I had more time to spend with my friends and family. Right? That's the only regret that anybody ever has. Well, the regret that everyone can relate to, the regret that everyone has, is, fuck, I wish I had more time for the people that I love and care about.
Yeah.
Or even down to, I wish I could protect the people I love and care about. If it is if you're macho,
That's your prerogative.
yeah, that's your prerogative. Well, and that's where I see all this displaced male energy of like, I want to fucking fight people. I'm so angry. I'm so pissed. And I think
That's because they don't have something to protect.
they don't have some. They're projecting. If you're not educated on what a threat is, you attack anything that looks scary.
Yes.
And if your dad's working all day, all night, and you don't ever see him, he's not like, hey, son, just because this guy is saying these things doesn't mean he's attacking you or trying to say anything that's, you're not in danger.
Yeah.
But instead you go, well, I don't know better. I'm going to fucking bite your head off because you said, you made a yo mama joke to me.
Yeah.
And I misunderstood it.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
Didn't have anyone to teach me any better.
And instead of, okay, I know someone broke into my house, I'm going to kick his ass. I'm going
Yeah.
to conserve my all this rage. I'm going to train. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get really good. I'm going to focus this aggression into a skill that I can later use to protect people.
Yeah.
Instead of just this wasting all this energy being
provide
angry
for them.
or provide for them or
Yeah.
what you realize what it takes to protect or provide.
Yeah.
And it's not always working yourself into the ground or fighting every dude that looks a weird look at you.
For sure.
And I just know so many people that lived an angry life for no reason and then realized, oh fuck, I'm so much lighter now that I don't try to fight everybody. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Like I just loved so hard that I hated everything else.
Yeah.
And then it's so tightly connected to each other.
Yes. Yeah, we said before, like, you cannot hate without love, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Gotta love something to hate something.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel almost like, because what I'm working on at least is for translating be a man into just be a good person overall. Like, and,
That's good.
If more people at least see like that, like the guys trying to be the manly men,
Yeah.
everything would work out so much better. It won't be so much like, oh, I'm going to a certain bar tonight, I gotta be prepared to fight someone. Like,
Or fuck someone.
Or fuck someone. Like,
Right.
oh, great, now I gotta have sex with someone.
I'm off to it. Go have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I don't have to go out worried, like being all worried, saying like, oh, I gotta be careful who I look at the wrong way
Right.
because I'm like have an itch in my eye, and my eye's tweaking a little bit.
Instead, everyone went to the bar thinking, oh man, I can't wait to make sure that everyone's going to have a good time tonight.
And get home safe.
Yeah, and get home safe.
Because ultimately, that's what everyone went to the bar for.
That's what everyone wants.
Like, I can't wait to go home I can't wait to go to the bar and make friends.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to a stranger.
Yeah, instead, you talk to a stranger like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Get the fuck away.
That's my bar stool, boy.
Christ. You looking at me funny, bro?
Yeah.
Hey, what's your problem, bro?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm at a bar right now. You think I came here to fight you?
Yeah.
Are you even from here?
Yeah. Oh,
The
God.
girl sits next to you at the bar, and like she just kind of like says hi, and that's it. Boyfriend comes up. You talking to my girl, bro?
Yeah.
You talking to my girl?
There's
Like, dude,
dudes.
what?
And I bet that those dudes are the dudes that I went to high school with that didn't have any friends.
Oh yeah.
That fucking only hung out, but that had to drink in order to be comfortable with other guys.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was like a rumor that we were all gay and we would all like fuck each other. All of us dudes.
Rumors.
Well, yeah, there were rumors
Rumors.
that we all fucked each other. Definitely didn't, because I'm like totally
Never.
straight. I've never
Never.
seen a wiener. So
I don't even look at mine.
yeah,
Don't even touch it.
I don't even look at my wiener. That would be so gay.
I don't touch it. I don't do nothing. It stinks.
Every time my girl touches it, I'm like, yeah, I guess you're gay. Go touch it.
Yeah, if you're fucking gay.
I just piss my pants. That way I never have to touch my wiener.
There you go. But yeah, no, there's definitely that. I think that correlates. The guys that can't. If you can't communicate, no one understands you.
Yeah.
And you just.
If no one understands you, then you have a lot of shit that you didn't vent, and then you're fighting because that's the only way that you know how to vent the shit.
Yep.
I have a buddy that's going through that right now, who is going through the transition right now, who used to fight people all the fucking time, and now he's on a fire crew and he can't fight people, not on my crew, but he's on a fire crew and he doesn't have access to people to fight, and he's experiencing more stress than ever. And I started just kind of like poking and prodding at this super inflated, under so much pressure, millions of PSI balloon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I started just kind of poking and prodding at it, trying to get little air to
Yeah.
start letting itself
bleed 'em out.
Yeah, and it's been great. Like, he had this gnarly breakdown pretty recently where I got really scared. He sent me a message that was like, oh my God. He said like, just threw up the medicine, I want to sleep forever. And I got so scared, dude. And
Good on him.
I called, because we've been talking for a long time. He just broke up with his girl. And, or it was kind of like, he thought the world of this girl. He thought that everything was going to go perfectly and that he had figured it out and found it.
Of course.
And then she just like cut him off.
Yep.
And
Hey man, I know how that feels.
I know how that feels. And
That's
like,
a bad feel.
that's a bad fucking feeling, and is probably one of the baddest fucking
Yeah, I
feelings
think
that you
so.
felt.
Well,
Yeah.
your reality just got broken.
Yeah, and he was in a real bad way, and we were talking for a while, and it kept getting worse and worse, and I think he was just getting drunker. And
Yeah, you just
eventually-
spiral into yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But when he said that, I thought he had been seeing a therapist, and like maybe he had gotten some kind of prescription to something, and then he said, I threw up the medicine. I'm like, dude, you just try to overdose? And I got really scared. It's a tangent, but I got really scared and kept trying to call him, and then I called 911 in his area and told them to like check him out. And they were able to get a hold of him, and like he was all fine. And he told me like a few days later, he was like, listen, man, like, no, this isn't an ego stroke. It's instead a critique of him and the surrounding that he's put himself into.
Mm-hmm.
He'd said to me, like, I don't think anybody else would have ever done that for me. And I'm like, dude, that's your fault. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but
No, it
like,
is.
that's your fucking fault. Like, now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know that you need to vent this shit and talk to
or else
somebody.
you're gonna explode.
Or you're gonna explode. And you now see that fighting people isn't sustainable all the time. You know, you're gonna run out of people to fight, or you're gonna start losing.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna get a gun someday. You
Yeah.
know, like
Well,
that's a spell for some people.
Well, you're not just gonna bring yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna bring other people down with you.
Yeah.
And and when that happens you see that everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
There was just a fucking gun at the casino we're driving past.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
This morning.
Not
that's
still.
that's the reality situation is
Yeah.
like all this displaced self-hatred that
Yeah.
men have for not fitting this mold
Yeah.
or having no role models
Yeah.
is disgusting. It sucks.
It's so gross.
It's undeserved.
I mean, what fucking... I don't know the actual number, but I think a very, very large percentage of those people that boil to the point of getting a gun and and murdering are men. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think the statistics are pretty high.
I think the statistics are pretty fucking high. I would put money on that. And I think that there is something to be said about that. You know?
Definitely.
I just think that there is. I think that there needs to be some kind of response in how we raise our boys to fight that. I mean, there's the hardline data for you. So let's fix this shit.
Fuck yeah. I mean, we'll put some statistics up in the video.
That would be good. Yeah, we'll find
some
that would be really
up.
good. Throw it up in the bio, the description.
It's just like, but you see that's a reflection of all these dads that because you got to look at how parenting used to go back in the old country. Of I'm a blacksmith.
Yeah.
My son grows up. He's putting the hot metal in the water. He's filling up the buckets. He's getting ready he's stoking the coals. He's doing the things.
Yes.
He's learning how to at least do this. And he's doing it with his father or whoever, or the daughters, or with their mother in the kitchen, learn how to take care of babies, how to fucking make the food, how to do the entire thing.
Yeah.
And when it goes right, you get a happy family. You get way less dysfunction because the kids don't have this weird lack of connection to the kind of energy they need at that developing age. Like instead of working with his father, no, you go do your own thing. Okay, well, I'm 15 and I'm gonna go fucking get drunk. I'm gonna go fucking.
That's what everybody else is doing.
That's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Trust me, kids would bring your child to work day. Should be most days.
Yeah, there should be more of those.
And that's I'm always saying, kids are so disregarded in today's society until they're 15 and then well, what are you doing with your kid? Your son's a loser.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I just have to fucking work all the time. Because I can't live I can't afford the things I was told I needed.
True.
That's a huge part of it too. Is like, you don't need half the shit you need.
Yeah.
We were talking to my old pizza place boss, Jessie. She made us lunch. And she said, my grandmother said that she could live on the waste of her grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
What
does that mean?
Like eating food. She could live off the scraps that they throw away.
Oh.
Because that's how unrealistic the world is. There's all this waste. We don't even know how to educate people on how to fucking cook a thing and not make waste.
How to recycle.
How to make compost. Because it doesn't matter because you can buy another one. But no, there's only a finite amount of resources.
Yes.
And it's all going away.
We aren't making matter here.
The family unit is so fragmented in this time period. And it's just causing all this chaos.
Yeah.
No one knows how to fucking, and you see it in fucking like, just how social media is crazy. Everyone's in their little bubble, and nobody wants to talk about anything that's constructive. It's just lashing out because no one has any fucking training on how to fucking not. It's like, okay, yeah, my dad was like, no, that's your fight. You're punching at something you can't punch. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, look at this objectively. Yeah. And I would look at it objectively and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I would stop having to put all this energy. Or my mom would be like, hey, really bad things happen. And they've happened to me. They've happened to a bunch of people you know. You just don't know. You need to give people time to be patient.
Yeah,
and I go, oh, okay, there's more than just me here.
Yes.
I have these tools now. And now I don't have to fucking fight everybody.
Yeah.
And instead, I can meet you at the door and say, hey, how you doing?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
When I see you fucking throwing a fit or being this overly manly man, I'm like, well, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And it's not to belittle you. It's to make you think about yourself and why you do the things you do.
Yes.
Because how many people even think about why this is why I do the thing I do?
No, dude, such a small percentage of people. I have tried that method quite a few times recently, being like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And it's always like,
exactly. It's all of a sudden you have fucking sand in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it always helps shit. It's always a little bit better.
Well, that's what Red's talking about too. He's like, you realized, like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why am I running this way?
Yeah.
And you figure it out for yourself because only you can answer those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that there's not influences, but ultimately it is up to you.
Yes.
And it'll feel so much better when you get there. because you didn't just settle for what was you're being fed.
Even if you're doing the same shit, at least you know now.
Yeah.
Like whether you know that you're doing it for now or whether you actually know that you want to do this, because that's something that I'm going through right now. I don't know if I actually want to do what I'm doing. It's a lot and it's hard, and I honestly don't like running. There are people at my work that really like that shit, and I know that a part of that is because I'm the least fit dude, but it's whatever. That's my thing with my work. And everybody has their thing with their work, and you got to figure out if you actually like that shit. And
because you're going to do it the rest of your life.
Because you could do it for the rest
You
of your life.
could do it the rest of your life.
Yeah, and do it as soon as you can, because that's the system that we're living in. It's like Dragon was saying, accept your reality for what it is. The sooner you find out exactly what you want to do and if what you're doing is worth it, then the sooner you can jump ship, go somewhere else and start up a retirement there, That's the reality that we're living in. The earlier that you can go through the growth and figure out what makes you a man, the sooner you can start building towards being the man that you want to be.
Yeah, and anything that any man that tells you gotta be put in this box just doesn't know that he's stuck in that box himself.
He's stuck in a box too, yeah.
So many people, and same thing for women though. I think that's just it's a human thing.
Yeah.
You build the reality around you, and it either helps you or it hinders you.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes.
Yes. And sorry if you identify as anything other than male, it's just you're able to relate to any of this, and we don't.
It's not just for men. Like we're just talking about art. It doesn't, and that's the whole thing. Like we would, if you know us, we're not trying to peg anybody.
Of course.
We're just fucking talking.
But I will call you a dude. You understand me?
Oh,
yeah,
always.
Yeah, bro.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter.
As a comrade.
That's my platform.
Oh,
nobody's taking dude from any of us.
Everybody's a dude.
Everyone's dude.
I kind of assume girls thrown off by that.
Yeah,
like, what's up, dude? There's like,
what's
excuse
up,
me?
Dude?
There's
I'm not a dude.
They get up and like, yeah, what's up, bro? And it's like, okay, that's different.
Done with the blowy, thanks, bro.
Fist bump or what?
Oh yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna head out.
Oh, dude, that was awesome.
Little pit post blowy fist bump.
Yeah. Why not? That's your dude right there.
Hell yeah.
No, it's good though. I'm glad that we're realizing what makes us happy.
Yeah, and ever since I've been doing this growth, man, I can cry during a movie. It's so much faster. Dude, crying is a rough one because the more that you try to hold it in, the more it's like your body's like, come on, just let me cry. Are you
shaking?
Are you kidding me? Just let me get one fucking tear out. Come on, man. As your body's screaming at you, and you're like, no,
Come on, man. Marley just died.
Yeah, Marley just fucking died, bro. Just watching that movie Arrival, that one made me cry. Oh my god, you gotta watch that movie. Amy Adams.
I heard of it. It looked interesting. I didn't watch it though.
It's so good. Amy Adams is one of the best actors.
There's a dude
on the planet. What dude? Yeah, Amy Adams a fucking dude.
Fucking dude.
And we're all dudes.
We're all dudes. This is our ranch.
Yeah. But I mean, that feels so much better. Just cry. Oh fuck. Okay.
Or be scared. Be whatever the thing is that you're not supposed to be.
Yeah. Right.
Get the fucking air quotes out of there. They don't mean shit.
You can be scared. You can act on your fear.
Dude,
you can cry.
I scour the internet for things that can scare me.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. That's so fun. I was looking at the Boxcat history, and it was all like, scariest.
Scariest thing. They might be
top
lame.
10 scariest.
Hopefully, I get something that scares me.
Yeah.
It must be nice. That's not a very deep rabbit hole for me.
Oh, dude.
No.
I played Dead Space.
That's very scary.
I played Dead Space when it came out, and it ruined scary things for me.
I've seen Korean horror, bro.
My god.
That shit's fucking scary.
Screw that.
I'm ready.
Dude,
Take me there.
an episode on horror would be so good.
Oh, I'm so down.
Dude, because I've done a lot of reading about like Western versus Eastern horror and about how Western's like surprise, Eastern's like suspense, and well, not even suspense, but like pain. It's like force. It's pressure.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my god, I'm going to be confronted with something. Oh my god, I'm going to be confronted with something. It's instead like, oh my god, I'm being confronted right now, and that right now just drags on.
Yeah,
for so long.
It's not one moment. That one moment is now inflated into the whole thing.
Exactly. Which way we go?
What are we doing? You can go around again. I'm down to keep talking.
What's
you guys
our
are.
time at?
I don't know.
I was curious about that.
I'm a little bi-curious.
I'm a little fry curious.
Because I was recognizing, I was like, we kind of keep dying down and then right back into it. And then, like,
Yeah, that's how it goes.
so like, okay, we're getting ready to call it. Oh, we're back in.
No,
Okay.
no, we call it when I
We're at an
stop
hour
driving.
and a half with some change.
Hour and a half is good. There's probably like 6-7 minutes that are going to be thrown out. there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do a little whatever.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, dude, I mean, fuck, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
People love us.
Yeah.
Our fans will be mad.
All 11 of our subscribers would be so upset with us if we cut them $1 short, man.
I'm so sorry. The Cosmos.
What'd I do?
You gotta watch Inside Out.
Oh, I know.
Dude!
I know.
Oh my god!
It's his movie, right?
I'm not good at
Oh.
watching movies.
Oh my god, dude.
Every time it's every day with the Cosmos, I'm like, you gotta watch Inside Out.
Dude, I've fucking cried more with that movie than like any movie I've ever seen.
You know how many times I've looked up a certain scene in that movie just so I can cry? I'm like,
Yeah,
you know what?
dude.
I need a good cry now.
That's how I feel with
I start there.
the Midnight Gospel and the Mom.
Oh,
episode.
yeah. that's a
I'll
good
watch that.
episode.
It's like there's a clip called "You Cry," and that's when she's talking to him, and he's like, "What do we do about the heartbreak?" And she's like, "You cry," and it's like, oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dr.
about to
Trussell's
start.
a fucking G.
I gotta watch the rest of that.
Dude,
And there's a good transition for it. So we're getting met with a lot of people, a lot of role models that are getting like relatively famous and popular that are much better examples of
How to
being an
convey and-
expressive man.
Totally.
You know, and
Yes.
Duncan Trussell's a great example.
He
of
is.
that.
No, he's a great fucking example.
So God bless him for that.
Well, and he talks about there's a story he tells about how he, like, when his mom died, he hired like a dominatrix and like wanted to feel pain and like
Oh yeah.
gets all like and like puts himself in a really weird situation and the dominatrix is like, I just think you're into vanilla sex, like,
Oh yeah.
and like makes him feel even worse.
Yeah.
And it's funny 'cause
That could be a good one too. Like, fuck. Like, what if you are just like a dude that's into regular sex? You
Right.
know, like, cause I've felt that stigma a little bit. Be like, yo, be dominating. You know, fuck me like a man. You know, I've heard that
Yeah.
before.
Well, sometimes it's read the room.
And, like, hey, I am a man and I'm fucking you, so I'm fucking you like a man.
Shop for the sex you want.
It's almost a
Yes.
weird insult. Like,
Fuck
I've
me
been
like
told
a
like,
man.
oh, you're vanilla, aren't you? And I'm like, what does that mean? And like,
Missionary
it's
with the lights
just
on.
very basic sex, and it's like, I mean, what's wrong with basic sex?
Yeah.
Like, gets the
Yeah,
job done,
yeah.
doesn't it?
Well, it's like I don't know.
Sometimes it doesn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
It depends. I feel like there's vanilla is kind of like vanilla is just put the penis in the vagina and thrust to completion.
Right.
And that's fine as long as both parties are into it.
Yeah.
Don't fix what's not broken.
Don't fix what's not broken.
But it's hard when because like this is especially true if you're like in that dating around space.
Yeah.
I don't think I guess the Bread's really the only person that's there right now, but like it can be hard because you're meeting new people and you're kind of trying to fuck a lot.
Yeah.
And there could be a stigma of like fuck me like a man. And I've ran into that a few times and like I don't really like. I'm realizing that it's a big part of it is because I just don't actually know what I'm doing with all of that like dom shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like I don't like slapping. I don't like hitting people.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
don't know
really-
what's too far and what's too hard.
Well, see, there is the ignorance thing.
Yeah.
But even as I've progressed to like figure that out, like how when you're choking someone, you're not supposed to like cut off their airway.
No,
You're
it's
instead
just-
supposed
it's
to
just
grab
pressure.
the-
It's just
yeah.
pressure. It's like
Right.
it's like showing possession of that you are in control.
Right. And I get that now. Even now, I get that you're not supposed to actually fucking asphyxiate them. and kill
Some
them.
people like being asphyxiated.
Some people
though.
like that.
That's the whole thing.
But I don't.
yeah.
And I feel emasculated by that because it's the traditional male role is one of dominance and authority, like that's what we're exposed to a lot of the time, is like the man of the house kind of situation. And that can carry over into sex, and I feel like if I can't be very dominating, that I'm not a man,
I think for me in that department, it's most like I took when I was shepherded by a person and shown what was desirable in that and put my own spins on it, and then you just kind of read the room. after once you got the tools, you just read the room, and after even when I was fucking around, if it works, it usually works for most people, unless they're like, no, I need you to do this, and you go, okay, I'm gonna have to switch up my game for you a little bit.
Yeah.
But for in being dominant, I can be dominant, but also submissive at the same time. It's not. You don't have to
like
be
push and pull.
Push and pull, like.
That's nice.
It's like, yeah. How would I even? It's like I will worship you, and that is in my mind. I'm like, this is my everything right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to savor every second of this. This is the most important thing happening.
Yeah.
And then you give that in and you get it back.
Right.
And you can implement however I don't know, whether it's you're getting a hand job but you're still choking the girl, or whatever, like, or applying firm pressure or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You will figure it out. And I think having a partner that will communicate with you, even if it is somebody that like isn't your girl, to be like, hey, there's no shame in being like, hey, what do you like? Like, hey, what's walk me through this. I want you to have the best fucking time possible.
Right. But
I'm not embarrassed to ask you what you want.
Yeah.
Or show me what you want. Fucking put me there. Like I think that there's a lot of stigma around just fuck her till you're done and go.
Yes.
And I've never liked that.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's like, it's not about figuring out whether they want to be dominated or not. It is instead being put into the position like, okay, well,
dominate me, daddy.
Yeah, dominate me, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Right,
I don't really like to do that.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't
Yeah.
want to cuddle.
What's funny is, like,
Cuddle.
sometimes when there isn't that, like, imposition, which is so funny because it's so important to communicate, and I'm whatever. But sometimes when I'm even given that imposition to, like, if I am given the imposition to be dominating, then I get weird.
Dance monkey.
And I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that. But if it's just like, like we talk, like, you want to have sex? Yes, I want to have sex. Okay, we're having sex now. And then, like, if it's good and there's some chemistry there, then I can do it. And I'm like, and I'll like it, but.
And you'll get to that point on your own.
Yes, but when there's some weird, like, imposition, and right now as I'm saying this, there's a little monkey in my brain going, you fucking pussy! Ah, you fucking just screaming at me.
Well,
but,
that's right. Good. You're suppressing that fucking little monkey dancing around.
Yeah.
It's better that you talk about it.
For sure.
Because you fucking get what you put out.
Yeah.
And you don't want someone to commanding you to fuck them hard or dominate them.
Yeah.
That's not what you're shopping for.
Yeah.
You hear that, ladies?
Yeah, I don't like hearing "fuck me harder."
I'm doing my best.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing my best. Could you imagine? Oh, I need to say that next time. Fuck me harder. I'm trying.
This is it. Yeah. Do you want me to nut right now?
I don't know how to get harder than this.
This is as hard as I go.
As hard as I go.
Push against me if you want more.
Yeah. You gotta put. Hey, that's the other thing. You gotta put in a little bit of work here, okay?
Yeah. I'm doing everything.
I'm
right
pretty
now.
strong. I got good cardio, but my core is a little mushy. So you gotta fucking work with me, all right?
Yeah.
I'm doing everything currently.
Yeah.
You gotta.
But fucking as a sport is a weird stigma.
Well, yeah.
Like being very good at sex is a weird title, because ideally sex is all about the communication and the equation of this person plus this person equals this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always going to change depending on the two people.
Mm-hmm.
But some people believe, and some of them are correct in stating that they're very good at sex, which is, I mean, I guess what all that should really mean is that they're very good at, like, communication and consent.
Or just realizing when, like, because I think I'm good at sex.
Or picking up signals.
Just reading the room and, like, understanding that, like if you start trying to, like, shepherd it one way and they, like, give you the gentle, like, you're like, oh, okay, you don't want that. I'll keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
I'll just keep slurping that nana. No, it's funny because you want to bring a story back to your bros, You don't want to be that guy with no stories.
Oh yeah.
When the stories when the circle starts.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I respect women, and to start, I respect women.
I don't like to kiss and tell.
But I went so raw in the paint. No, it's and I get that that's another thing of if you don't have anybody helping you out, especially like your friends, and they chastise you. Oh, dude, you're just such a pussy. You don't fucking get it. You're just not good at sex, dude.
Yeah.
And that's not what it is. No one has to be bad at sex.
I've also been in the boat of like, me and my friend had sex with the same girl, and she told everyone in the school that he was better at sex than I was, and that's like hard hit to them.
That's a ball punch right there.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah, that hurt me.
Hey, fuck you for doing that, by the way. You know who you are if you ever listen to this, and I hope you do.
And hit me up.
But hit me up.
But I miss
But give me another chance.
I swear.
Just kidding. Please don't.
I've been taking LT grape sex pills.
I've been taking triple XL Rhino Energy horny pills.
But that's the other thing, though, and that's where that predatory advertisement comes in. Because you're not good at sex, you better take these pills.
Yeah.
You're not good at sex. Whenever you go on to fucking any porn website, you look at the top bar. What does it say? You got a small dick? Take this pill. You got a low sex drive? Take this pill.
Increase your sex drive.
You want to be more attractive? Take this pill.
Yep.
Or
that's because porn is so oriented towards men.
Or you're not getting laid. It's because you're fat.
Yeah.
I know plenty of bigger dudes that fuck. Okay.
Dude, I know some big dudes that.
Big dudes be fucking.
Yeah.
And it's not about being big or small or whatever.
Confidence and eye contact, baby.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that's it's just so weird. It's just so weird, and it's not done yet. It's not fixed yet. There's still a lot of stigma. There's men aren't fucking oppressed. That's not what I'm getting after. But
no, only by ourselves.
Only by ourselves, and not in any kind of way that we're going to prevent ourselves from succeeding financially and professionally. But there is still some, if everything can be fixed. Everything can be fine-tuned and made a little bit better. And I definitely think that our attitudes and our approaches in teaching young men what it's all about can be changed.
And I think it's all in the baton handover. When I talk to one of my bosses, he's like, I'm older and I'm bigger, and all the sex stuff is gone for me. We don't do that. That's not where we are in our relationship anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, enjoy it though, because it is a fun part of being in a relationship, being in love and doing all these things. And he's like, well, I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
And everybody in my family was like, "Are you not having kids? What the fuck's wrong? You're all weird. They're not having kids." And he's like, "Fuck you. I want to do what I want to do."
Yeah.
You don't have to do these things that have been handed down to you. When the baton is put in your hand, you're the guy running. It's just a stick in your hand. It doesn't. All these. Here's my ideology, son.
Oh,
Thanks,
God. Oh,
Dad.
wow. This is just a stick.
So I start drinking after or before I hit my wife. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. What are the logistics of how I'm supposed to be a man, Dad?
Yeah.
And that supposed to, or that man in question is whoever the fuck he was.
If I don't photocopy this stick and give it to my son, are you going to chastise me?
And that's I always say that because we've talked about the role of the adoptive father before, and I've said that my adoptive father is a woman, and it's this woman that I used to work for in a different agency, and she's fucking incredible, and she has all these technical skills that are traditionally masculine, like felling a tree and starting a fire and hiking and running and all this, exactly that shit, all that shit, and on top of that, she's incredibly emotionally attuned and smart, but she also kind of grew up in the stop being a pussy, let's get this shit done. And it's weird navigating that and seeing how it can differ if that attitude and those expectations are saddled onto a woman, and how that can change,
Well, it boils down to it's all just you're getting handed somebody's training.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle. You're being educated every second. You just don't realize you're being educated.
Yeah.
It's just like that meme, like the hole in the stick. He's like, wow, this is worthless.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And then he sticks it in his bike spokes. Stupid stick.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
I know. I think that's a different
It's a different meme, but
Fucking
it ties in.
Democrats. But that's what you do with it after that. You go,
Stupid stick.
can't believe that stick just got jammed into my spokes.
Yeah.
No,
Fucking
it's
Republicans.
it's funny. It's I'm just glad to be able to identify that for my parents to have done the work and have been analyzing their parents and go, you know what, my parents don't have it fucking figured out either.
Yeah.
And who am I to give this photocopied stick to my sons?
Yeah, so they can photocopy it, and then it's just this like black image that no one can decipher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can say I'm better at things than my parents. I'm worse at things than my parents. But I'm very happy that they didn't hand me this old chewed up fucking stick.
Yeah, and it's, you know, in ways we're always passing a stick around, whether you're catching it or giving it out. Take it both. Hold yourself accountable and take what you receive with a grain of salt, because you don't know what people have been through. You know, you may have a dad, a strong male role model in your life, but maybe he was hit a whole bunch as a kid, or one of his parents were never ever there, and thusly, even if he can form words, even if he can form pretty intelligent sentences and he's pretty successful, he can still have a lot of issues that he hasn't resolved, or a lot of weird traumatic events that have kind of compounded and folded over themselves and shaped who he is. And thusly, you need to even take what a positive male role model can give you with a grain of salt, because everybody's going through their own shit.
Yeah.
And you need to hold yourself accountable, because just as much as we are looking for our mentors, we are mentors. And it's funny to hear things that I've said to somebody years and years ago, for them to repeat it back to me and tell me that it had some kind of impact on their life.
Right.
It's like, fuck, I had that power? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, you don't know until somebody tells you. Otherwise, it's in their mind and they're just running on it.
Yeah. And it's good to revisit your teachers too. This is tangential, but if you get the chance, go back and talk to those people that had some kind of strong, like, lasting impact on your life, because not only will it be very validating for them, maybe in the efforts that they put towards developing you or developing a large group of people, but also it'll help motivate them to continue to make those good decisions in the future.
Yeah.
Because we all need that positive reinforcement every once in a while.
Oh, totally.
And I think that positive reinforcement isn't as taught and cultured for men as it should be. Like, there's a lot of the, like, you fucked up, man, you can't be fucking up anymore. You have to hold yourself accountable. You can't be fucking up. But there's not a lot of, like, hey, good job. You did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? And I found that always works a lot better for me.
Yeah.
If someone tells me I did great, even if I didn't do that great, like, if I kind of suck ass on the run, if somebody says, hey, you tried your hardest. I know that you tried your hardest. And that's something that a lot of people don't do.
Mm-hmm.
And that even if it was that you did it, is still impressive. You did a good fucking job.
How I do that in my own head is I go, okay, what would I say to a child right now? And I need to tell that to myself, you know, unless I'm, you know, really
treat
fucking
yourself
up.
how you would treat others.
You got to, because you can't be mean to your fucking self.
No, man.
And it's funny, and back to giving your teachers praise, or like going back and talking to them, like my boss, I was like, hey man, I just really appreciate, we were in the car driving to the store to get lumber or whatever. It's like, hey man, I just really appreciate all you're doing for me, and it really means a lot to me, and I just can't thank you enough. Like, it's not a lot of people do this for people. Right. You know, thank you for giving me this time, paying me to learn, basically. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, fuck you. You know,
right.
Wah, wah. Oh, thanks. And what, you gonna cry? I'm like, no, I just appreciate it. And he doesn't know what to do with it.
Right, exactly.
Because he didn't come from that.
Yeah.
And for him, that must have been a weird experience. He doesn't have any kids. He doesn't have it, like, no one, and he's usually a pretty loud guy. He or people would find him to be the scrubby side of the brush.
A
little abrasive. But when you really see what he's trying to do, you go, oh man, you're really trying to do your best and help people and show things, and hey, guess what? Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that.
There's a lot of old dudes that feel that way. Like I know I tried to say that to my stepdad before, to Tim, and he'd be like, yeah. So they don't know what the fuck else to do with that.
No.
And it's sad. It's a shame. Like, I think that what I'm gonna do at some point before he dies is pay him one of those compliments, like, you know, be appreciative for a bit, and then tell him, hey, like, you can say thank you. You know, you can just say thank you.
Yeah.
That's enough for people. That's enough for people.
To hear. Yeah.
Yeah. There's put your seatbelt on.
I'm sorry.
Recording.
There's a guy at my work, this fucking incredible guy. I don't know if I've talked about him before here, but my old saw partner, he's really good at that. He's really good at saying thank you and making sure that you understand.
That's good.
Know?
That you're appreciated.
Yeah, like what you're saying is heard. And that can be hard. It can be hard. I know that I tend to lock up and be like, nah, I'm not that great. I'm not very good. No.
Same.
And it's
Credit
almost
where
like,
credit is due, my friend.
yeah, you have to say thank you when someone says some shit like that. Because it makes them feel good for saying it, too. And it can, you know, like, it's important to be good at saying thank you.
Well, and that can be the thing that keeps you there. That can be the thing that makes you realize that, you know what, yeah, I am good at this.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for seeing it. Because
you
maybe
take it in more instead of being like, no, I'm not that great.
Yeah, or you never hear it and you go, well, fuck, I just wish someone would give me some feedback.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you go, oh, wow, you really actually think I'm good at this?
Yeah.
Damn. I really appreciate it.
Maybe I am good at this. Maybe I should keep doing this.
Maybe I don't have to hit my kid. Because
Yeah, maybe I don't have to go home and hit my wife.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
What a fucking way to end her on. This is another episode of Nitro Ride. Thank you so much for coming, Red.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
it's a man's world and we don't like it either.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a man's world and we're all trying to do something about that.
Yes. All right. Love ya. Bye.
Bye.